1 2 1 2 1 2, and the place to be. DJ Premier is in deep concentration on the motherfucking I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast.
There it is.
I can't tell you how excited I am to talk to you. I'm breaking rule number 1 of the I Am Rapaport Stereo podcast. I had to fact check and get all my notes together because when I was getting ready to start doing this, I started listening to like so many different Premier songs, right. and I had to zero in because I can't do the life and times
right.
of DJ Premier in just one podcast. So I appreciate you rocking with me.
No doubt. I'll always catch you at Knicks games.
Catch me at Knicks
whenever
games.
Whenever I'm blessed to get some floor seats.
And yeah, and once you sit on the floor, it's hard to go back.
You don't want to sit nowhere else.
You know what's crazy? The first time I met you in person, Come Clean had just come out.
Wow. Shout out to J. Rue.
And I saw you at the tunnel, and I introduced myself to you, and I said, yo, that Come Clean shit. And you were like, J. Rue's right here. And he had his shit wrapped, and you guys were smoking, and I was just like, what the fuck? Needless to say, I'm a huge fan. I've been a huge fan for a long time. So how does it work with you? Let's say there's a new rapper. His name's White Mike Rapper. Right. You know, like it's me. And I'm like, all right, Premier, you've heard me rock. You've heard me do my thing. How do we make a song?
For me, I always approach it in 2 ways. As a fan that wishes that he could do this as a producer, and then I also approach it as a DJ, a real DJ, not a robot DJ. Robot DJs have to be told what to do, and they have to do what they're told.
Absolutely.
But both ways, told what to do and do what they're told. You gotta put them both together.
Absolutely.
But for me, I'm one of, it's like a sports fan. I'm like, man, why would he run that play, man? I would have fucking done an option on that.
Okay.
Even though options are in college and not really in the pros. But, but that's how I am with my approach. It's the same way. It's like, man, if I could learn how to work that, what is he using to make it sound so dope like that? If I could learn it, I guarantee I can interpret a dope style from my perspective of what it should sound like if given the opportunity, and which is how my demo got heard by Guru. And he liked my production and just my overall style of how my demo was made.
Okay.
And from there, once I got to, after the first Gangsta album, the first one I didn't understand how to produce, so we used to do it all together. It was me, Guru, and our engineer, Shlomo Sonnenfeld.
Okay.
And we had Such a Sound Studios in Brooklyn. And I used to see King of Chill there mixing MC Light stuff. And I'd be like, yo, well, where's MC Light and everybody? He's like, they already did their recordings. And I'm like, so why are you by yourself? He said, well, once they record, then I produce and mix it. And I'm like, so what does a producer do? He's like, I thought a producer just made the beat. I didn't know it. You're coaching vocals, arrangement. Nah, I don't like that. I think you should say it over, things like that, which is also I'm very critical of. So all of that, and once I knew that that's what a producer is, I'm like, well, I'm that, because I'm very vocal in telling you how I feel. So I'm like, all right, let me start to practice more. So by the second Gangsta album, Step in the Arena, when Just to Get a Rep and all that came out, I started to really say, you know what, I could do this, and I'm ready for anybody.
Okay.
More like 92, when KRS called, then I was really, really ready.
So that's when you first started feeling like you understood what you were doing. But I mean, I get it because it's your first record. You probably have criticism of it, but let me jump right into it.
And I was too cocky too. I wanted to beat up the engineer because I was like, hey, I want to set up my turntables, because I brought the whole coffin with me from Texas to New York. He's like, well, you're not going to be doing that. Then he's from Israel. He's like, you're not going to be doing that until later. And I'm like, who the fuck you talking to? And man, I'll fuck shit up. And Guru's like, dude, like, you don't understand. However you were doing your demos, we don't do that like that in the studio. You can do scratches 5 days from now. And I'm like, you can? Because we used to do everything on the spot. Lay the scratches, lay the vocal, lay everything, and it's a done deal. He's like, nah, in the studio, you can punch in, you can... Stuff I just didn't...
With the first album, you were that unaware of the technicality?
That unaware, totally.
All right, so I believe... And it's such a fucking long time ago.
Yeah.
We're getting
30
older.
years.
We ain't old, but we're getting older.
Yeah, I'm 52, man.
It's crazy. So, like, I'll just start. Like, the jump-off song that I think I remember first, and it could be wrong, but the jump-off song, I think, and let me just say this, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get to the life and times of all the production of Premier, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get to the life and times of all the production of Gangstar. So I'm gonna pick and choose some joints and talk to you about it.
On you.
And then we're gonna talk about the Prime record. We're gonna talk about the Which Way Is West record and all that. But like the jump off joint, Manifest. When you listen to that now, do you hear flaws? Like it worked at the time. You know, Guru was like, I was like, where's this motherfucker from? Because he sounds like New York. It's like you could kind of hear a spinge of, is that a Boston accent? Like, what the fuck is going on? So when you listen to that song now, what do you remember about that time and about the making of specifically Manifest?
Well, Manifest, the original demo is the album version, which is Words I Manifest.
Right.
And if you look on the, you know, obviously all of our remixes that came out as 12-inch singles, they re-added those to the, if you buy No Moments Tonight's Guy now, all of our remixes are also on there. And it just says Manifest Remix. It doesn't say Words I Manifest. Honestly, the original version is what I made when I met Guru, and I said I'll send him some beats that I was going to make, and he liked that one. And I remember, you know, I never met a rap artist in my life, so I was so excited to meet him, because when I was staying in New York at my grandfather's, I used to listen to WBLS and 98.7 Kiss and Awesome 2 and tape all their shows, go back to Texas and be like, yo, I got all the new rap stuff from New York, because it was a big deal to say you got the latest hip-hop. So when we did the original Words I Manifest, Craig G was at his apartment, and now he was like, yo, Craig G is here, and I was a Juice Crew, I am a Juice Crew junkie. So he was like, you want to say what's up to him? I'm just like, man, I'm about to pass the fuck out. Craig G? You know, and Craig knows the story, you know, so then he talked to me, he said, yo, these beats are dope, man. And so from him even saying it's dope, I'm like, yo, we about to get popping. So when we did the original album version, and Stu Fine, who owned Wild Pitch Records, was like, yo, Marley Marl's gonna start the show Friday with the song, we were just like, man, that's my idol, you know, it's Marley. So when that came out and it started to buzz, Stu was like, yo, I want to do a video to this, but he said, I don't think this version has enough energy. He said, is there any way that we could actually just redo it with more excitement, more everything to it? I was like, cool.
And what did you do to the song to change it?
Well, for one, added, you know, we sped it up. We added like a whole intro. Like now when it goes dun 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 dun, it goes ow, ow, and then it gather around, and then dun 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 dun. It plays for a minute before the vocals kick in. And not only that, we didn't have automation back then, so the part where he says stop, think for a moment, okay, we had to all line up side by side and hit the buttons together.
Stop, think for a moment, okay, and then sway.
20-year anniversary
of Moment of Truth.
Yeah. 20 years ago, like, this record was put out. I mean, the Gangstar catalog is so... You guys would put out double records. Like, the fucking albums you put out, the records you put out, they were thick. They weren't like 10 joints. It'd be like 15 joints, 16 joints.
Right.
So
that was an era too, though. The 18, you know, it was like, how many joints you got? 30, you know, and all 30 songs would be on the CD, not even the double CD, because then it got to a point where it's like we went back to 10.
Jungle Brothers, Sammy B is on the cut.
Yeah.
You know, you would always acknowledge the DJ. Your DJ premieres in Deep Concentration is like these DJ songs, these DJ homage songs, DJ shout-out songs. They don't. This is something that's.
I was following the blueprint. You know, Terminator X had one. UTFO with Mixmaster Ice had one. Run DMC always had a Jam Master J record. So I was like, well, you know, Eric B is on the cut, and Chinese Arithmetic. I was like, yo, we got to do. Everyone always talked about their DJ in a rhyme, and always gave, you know, Mo Love's theme on Ultramagnetic MC's Critical Beatdown. Like, everybody had a DJ record. So I was like, I got to do one.
Step to the Arena. Give me the science of that song. When I ask you about all your songs, are you able to recall the samples of all of them?
Totally.
Okay, so Step Into the Arena. Give me the magic of that song. Give me the samples of that song. What do you remember about specifically that day when you were doing that song?
For one, I wanted my sound to sound dirtier, because we worked at Calliope. And Latifah was working there, Jungle Brothers was working there, De La was working there. You know, so when I'd read to see where they were working, 45 King was doing a few things there, so Ultramagnetic. So I was like, yo, I got to make my stuff sound more dirty like that.
And what do you mean by dirty?
I felt like me and Guru used to always call No More Mr. Nice Guy our resume, because we were still just getting ourselves together to be able to be partners in making a sound that was ours. With Stephanie Arena is my first time actually saying I'm doing everything, no help from anybody touching the machine, just me, but establishing a sound where I wanted to be where you go, yo, Premier did that. Because when I hear Marley, I don't even have to look at the record. I can just tell that sounds like his bounce, that sounds like his echo, that sounds like his delay. Like you could just tell. And then when you look, it's like Marley, or they'd say Marley Marls on whatever. It's because saying the producer's name was a big deal. Saying Howie T, saying Mantronics, you know, saying Larry Smith and Rick Rubin, you'd say their name, you know, and you know, even Russell. Russell's name was, he was part of involved, you know,
right.
So hearing all that, again, Davey DMX, same thing. I just was like, I gotta be known for that, especially not being from New York and being an out-of-towner.
Right.
You know, and at that time, it was like if you weren't from there, you weren't getting no love. Unless you were from Connecticut, Philly, Jersey.
Even then, we had question marks on it.
Yeah.
But when you say make the sound dirty, is it the samples? Is it some technical reverb? Like, how did you create that signature Premier, specifically Gangstar dirtiness, griminess?
Hearing the bridge. When I heard the bridge, I was like, how is it sounding like that? It sounds like an old drum. It doesn't sound like the Linn drum. It doesn't sound like the TR-808. It doesn't sound like the 909 or the 7. I knew all my equipment, you know, just from being a junkie for, I used to build car stereos as a kid in my neighborhood when I was in Texas for everybody in my neighborhood. I was really into, you know, drilling the holes and making sure it's neat where you didn't have to go to, you know, we didn't really have car stereo places yet. You remember when the Booming System era came out, it was really in our era.
Right.
And that became where car stereo places became mega paid for making the dope systems because our songs started being designed for systems because my era is really the big boombox. And I always had a radio everywhere I go. Even if you look at a lot of the old, if you Google image us, that radio that it shows me and Guru together is the radio I made all my beats on. All the way to the last, all the way up to Full Clip.
That's fucking crazy.
Same radio.
Well, what do you mean made the beats on the radio?
I would run the outputs of the drum machine into it had a line in port. So I would run that into the back so that it just had to sound like I wanted to sound like you're walking down the street, annoying everybody, like Radio Raheem, but this is before Radio Raheem, you know, but I want that type of a sound to pump with my name attached to it.
And so specifically the dirtiness, is it a texture? Is it kind of samples? Is it layering? Like what is it? Because I understand it from an ear thing, but I'm technically...
It's a combination of things because the bridge is him taking, you know, the snare from Impeach, the kicks, programming it his way, but then you hear make the music with your mouth and just boom, boom. It just sounds like it's not clean. And I was just like, but it matched the city. Because me being in New York way before I got into hip hop, when I used to stay with my grandfather, the music matches the look. I always say that I feel like certain artists don't match the way they are with the record. Like when you look at us and you hear us, me and Guru, our records matched us. EPMD, their records matched them. When you saw them, it was like, yo, their records sound like EPMD. Eric B. and Rakim, they look and their music sounds like them. Same thing with Shan, you know. He when you saw him, his records always were good. Cool G Rap and Polo, same thing. Kane, same thing. All of that was tied into my focus to be exactly like that without being a biter. Because we were from the era where fights would break out literally from a minor bite. Somebody would just roll them and go, yo, you bit my shit. And all of a sudden the fight broke out over sounding similar. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how ill it was. You know, like over sounding similar. So for me, once I was like, where are they getting the sounds to do that? I didn't understand it was sampling yet.
Got you.
I'm just like, where are they getting it? But I was up on my records, but I'm still not understanding how are they getting it. I didn't know they were taking pieces from old records and then just truncating the little edges and then making that their drum and their key, their horn and and all that stuff. I'm just like, this is how they do it. So then once I figured it out, it was during the James Brown era where everybody's really heavy on James, including myself. But I was like, you know what? A lot of people don't use jazz samples. And my grandfather was a jazz bass player and a trumpeter. So I was like, man, there's not a lot of vocal in here. I could start taking these and flipping them and putting hard drums to it. We weren't, a lot of people like, oh yeah, jazz rap. It's like, no, jazz rap is rapping about jazz. I was taking sounds that no one's touching and just wanting to bring them out into the forefront and start another style that it seemed like no one was really tapping. And then that became popular. Jazz sampled the bass lines, and next thing you knew, we were getting labeled as that. So that's why by the time we were on the Hard to Earn album, I was like, you know what? They keep labeling us wrong. Guru was like, yo, I'll do Jazzmatazz to protect Gang Starr from being labeled as that. And even though we did tributes to jazz with Jazz Thing and Jazz Music, and the one for Spike Lee. So when we did that, Hard to Earn, I said, I'm taking all jazz samples out and I'm going to start just doing weird space sounds and weird stabs and just other stuff. And that's why I'm proud of that album, because it was very just raw, stripped down, but still a dope album. The only one that was really melodic was Mass Appeal.
One of the things you did, and I'm going to lead this into Jay-Z, but one of the things you did, Speak Your Cloud, is one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite Gang Starr songs.
Yeah, I love that.
It's obviously Guru, Dap, and J. Rue. And I'm going to refer to it as a medley song, where each MC had their own beat. What was the concept behind that? Did you know, like, you were gonna? I believe, and I don't claim to know everything. I believe that was the first time that had been done. It might have been, I get the times wrong. I know, like on the Live at the Barbecue. I mean, where the beat literally was like, Dap's gonna rhyme to this beat, J. Rue's gonna rhyme to this beat, Guru's gonna rhyme to this beat, and it's all one song. What was the concept behind that? And were those beats made beforehand? And who decides the order? You did so many joints where it was like Guru, M.O.P., Guru, M.O.P., Fat Joe, but like specifically on that song, how do you decide the order? What, like the medley concept, where did that come from? Specifically Speak Your Cloud.
Actually, Speak Your Cloud is the second time we did it. The first time we did it was I'm the Man on Daily Operation in 1992, because we wanted to introduce the rest of our team to let them be heard, because I think Marley Marl's The Symphony started this whole posse cut record phenomenon, because once he started doing it with the Symphony, all of a sudden everybody's getting their whole crew on songs, and then all of a sudden this guest appearance thing started. It wasn't really no guest appearances during the 90s and the 80s. Every blue moon, Spoonie G and the Sequence did Monster Jam. You might have Sugar Hill meets the Furious Five, but they were label mates. And, but overall, there was no features. Like now when we're promoting albums, they're like, yeah, man, so you got your new album coming out, so who you got on it? And it's like, oh,
now you have to have features.
Yeah, it's like, now you gotta say, oh, yeah, I got Jadakiss, I got Fabulous, I got Jay, I got Nas. Where back then it wasn't no thing. So by the time the Symphony became like this new phenomenon and everything, and of course Live in the Barbecue blew us all away. Scenario blew us away. We were just doing the same thing, but I've always wanted to be different. Always wanted to be different, where I stand out. It's a standout competition thing with me. It's still a competition thing with me. So for that, I was like, you know what? We're gonna introduce our guys, but everybody's gonna get their own sound for them. I think I'm very good at matching sounds to the artist.
Okay.
And that's one thing I specialize in to this day. I think that's why most of the records work when I drop them. They ain't gotta be platinum or anything like that, but I think they still work when we put it together to do what we set out to do. So with Speak Your Cloud and back, in 1990, it was really 1993, but the album came out in 94. Same thing, we would just revisit it again, because by that time J. Rue and them were popping on their own. Group Home had a hot single with Superstar. J. Rue was big with Come Clean and the original, and Can't Stop the Profit. So we were just bringing our family back. Suge was home from prison, so we were like, and Suge, founded Gang Starr with Guru. So we were so happy to put him back into the mix and get him back to rhyming. And plus Suge taught Guru how to rap. Guru used to sing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a singer. He could sing.
That's crazy. You fucked
He's a
my head up
crooner.
with that.
He's a crooner.
That's fucking crazy.
I remember they have a routine when one day when you see Suge, who's out on tour right now with Afu and J. Rue out in Europe, but I got footage of them showing this thing where they used to wear their sport coats, and they take them and flip them around and then put them back on their body while they did a little step. And so it'd be like off, twirl it
That's
back
crazy.
on it, and they did it like almost like, remember in Five Heartbeats
Yup.
when they all linked back up at the end, and
Yeah,
they was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
let's see if we can still do our moves. It was like that, but they did it exactly like if they did it back in the 80s.
That's some bugged
Yeah,
footage.
and then Suge was rapping, but Suge was in the street getting in a lot of trouble, and it got to a point where Guru just took the reins and just got better than Suge, So, but when he came home, we were just like, yo, we got to kind of re-educate you into how to do it the way these guys are doing it, because now Guru finally became a master at rhyming, and he's always been a great writer. And then the next thing you would know, they were popping. We were all popping as the Gangstar Foundation.
But specifically with Speaker Cloud and I'm the Motherfucking Man, with each MC having a different song, did you craft the beats in the studio?
Yeah, everything's on the spot.
Everything's on the spot. So you're fucking around and so what's the tools you're using at the time?
By that time, I was on the Akai MPC 60 because my engineer, Eddie Sancho, I had met, thanks to Showbiz from DITC and Showbiz and AG. Lord Finesse was on his second album, and he had a song called Return of the Funky Man. He was doing the remix to it. Showbiz was like, yo, I need you to come lay scratches on this remix. I did a new beat to it. And I was like, all right, cool. He said, well, where am I meet you? He said, oh, some studio called D&D. And I was like, all right, I'll meet you down there. Went to D&D because I was always working in Brooklyn at Such a Sound and at Firehouse. And this is my first, New York studio in the city. And when I get there, Eddie Sancho wasn't freelance then. He was one of the employees. And they just said, Eddie, do this session. Once I got there, Showbiz had to leave. And he was like, yo, when y'all mix it, can you just make sure you get me a cassette copy? Of course, a cassette. Mix it. It was still a cassette, and and it wasn't like we weren't burning CDs yet. And then I said, "Yeah, I'll bring it to you later on." So I had a dope sound system in my Mazda MPV that I'm very known for from Funkmaster Flex, and we're just talking about how everybody in New York knew my vehicles, and so I popped it in there to hear the mix, and it was so right and pumping. I said, "This is where I'm gonna do my next album." So that's how I ended up going to D&D. I was like, you know what? I was going to do it at Calliope. I'm going to do it here. So, because if it sounds like that, I already can premeditate how it's going to sound when I apply these new beats to this. I was still on the SP1200 as well, which was the go-to back in the 80s, all the way into the early 90s. But my engineer, Eddie, was like, yo, well, he became my engineer, and he quit D&D and became just a freelancer because we was hiring him so much. But he was like, yo, man, I'm looking at the way you lay your beats down, and you should use the MPC 60. And I was like, nah, I'm good with the SP. He's like, yeah, but the way you're doing it, you could use this because this is almost like a tape machine without the tape. And he's like, let me show you how you could divide the tracks up. Once he showed me, I was like, damn, that is cool. I said, damn, I need to buy one. He said, I'll sell you mine. Money was popping at the time, and we weren't platinum or gold, but we had good budgets. Laid it out, bought his right there on the spot, started mastering that. And I said, well, damn, and that means I'm going to leave the SP1200 alone. And that's what all of us use. Easy Mo B, P-Rock, we all use that. That was the most famous drum machine besides the Roland 808 and the 909 and the Lindrum. Next thing you know, I said, I'm going to do one more beat on this to say goodbye to the SP1200, and it was Take It Personal.
Oh, shit.
See how dusty and dirty it is? It's just... That's the last beat I made on the SP1200.
So when you're changing these machines, because this is like, I don't know what I've heard I don't know what, is it, would it be like the equivalent of going from a Mac to a Windows? How complicated is it?
From a PC to a Mac, yeah. They're totally different because...
You have to relearn it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't like learning new stuff. Same thing with Serato.
Right.
I mean, now I'm a master at it.
Right.
But when I'm happy with the way I am, I'm going to just keep it funky that way. It's like... it's almost like how heavy metal is. I love rock, I love new wave, because I grew up in that too. I was here before rap, so I had my new wave phase. I was into all the new wave clubs, going to see Devo and the Smiths and Psychedelic Furs and Susie and the Banshees. I was going to all those concerts, and just doing all the crazy stuff that they do there. You know what I mean? I was wild on the low, So during that era, you bring all that with you when you create. And then I used to always like how new wave artists always had B-sides. They would always have a song and it would say unavailable on LP. And I'd always be like, well, damn, why isn't it on the album? Like, I'm one of those that'll be like, why? You know what I'm saying? And then want to understand why. Once I do, I'm like, well, shit, I want to do B-sides. Then Public Enemy would have a B-side, Rebel Without a Pause. I'm like, damn, this ain't on the album. And, until they came out with Nation of Millions, but it wasn't on Yo Bum Rush's show, but it was on the B-side of You're Gonna Get Yours, which was on Yo Bum Rush's show. Prince always had B-sides. Just stuff like that. Special Ed would have a B-side, Ready to Attack, that wasn't on the album. So I was like, well, damn, man, we got to do the same thing. That's why we did Dwick. So it was a B-side. People used to be like, why isn't it on the album? It was a B-side. It turned into a hit. So we told the label to add it to Daily Operation, which they didn't do. So people were like, well, damn, why is it on Hard to Earn when Dwick is a couple years old? Because we wanted them to add it to Daily Operation while it was still fresh. They didn't do it. So I was like, well, people, if they ever buy a Gangstar album, they got to find out one of them. So I'm not going to do it 5 albums later. Let's put it on the next one. So that's why we threw it on Hard to Earn. It should have been on Daily Operation.
That's dope. Another one of these medley songs that you did. Jay-Z, in my Lifetime record, the intro medley is one of my favorite Jay-Z joints because the way he's rocking, it's raw. The beats keep changing.
You talking about $1,000,001?
Yeah, like because it's
Rhyme
like
No More.
Yeah,
that was his idea.
Motherfuckers can't rhyme no, and then it flips. The beats change. When you were doing that with Jay-Z, is he actually not? Nothing's written down.
No.
Where did the beat come from? Give me that process because it's like, at that point, Jay-Z was famous, but who would have thought we'd be talking about Jay-Z? Like, he's like in a different planet now of fame and iconicness. Give me everything you got about the making of that song and the beat changing and like what it was like to work with a Jay-Z in his first sort of prime. You know what I mean? Because he's went through three or four different primes.
Yeah.
So what, you know what I mean? Like, it's like when you thought it was over with Jay-Z, he went to another level.
Yeah.
So what do you remember about that and specifically that song with the motherfuckers can't rhyme no more?
That one was totally his idea. He called me and said, I want to do this intro to the album. Even when we were doing Reasonable Doubt, same thing. He would call me and he would rap the rhyme on the phone a cappella. So with this one, same thing. He did the whole 1,000,001 verse for me over the phone with the idea. He said, and then I wanted to connect some type of way. He said, you know how you do those little breakdown things? And he goes, but I want to connect, and then I'm going to go. And he said, I'm going to go, motherfuckers can't rhyme. He said, when I say rhyme, I want to drop. Like, he's very calculated on how he wants to do his thing. That's why his shows are tight. And he was like, that's how I wanted to drop. So I said, all right, I'll meet you at D&D. He said, yeah, because Too Short's coming into town to work on a week ago. They were working on that, which was on that album. So, and I knew Too Short from way back, but to see him in New York with Jay was like, oh, wow, Too Short's here in New York at D&D. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy. So
Too Short and him went, and the D&D had just built a brand new room, because there's the A room, the B room, which I had, and the new room is called the D room for D&D. So Jay went in there to work with Too Short, and he said, let me know when you got the first part done, and I'll come lay it, and then I'll go back in there with Too Short, and when you got the second part, I'll come lay that. So being that he gave me the idea, I already knew how I wanted to approach it, and he said it was going to be called 1,000,001 Questions, and so right there, as soon as he said that, I said, Aaliyah. Like that. I'm like that, where certain things, either a line or a title, will make me think of a line or a scratch, just on some DJ shit. And I was like, that 1 in a million. And I said, I wonder if I took just 1,000,000 and kind of flew that in as a part of the song. It might sound kind of fly if I tune it right. And this is before auto-tune, this is before Ableton. This is just sonically knowing as a guy with I have a good ear. And then I pitched it, and I was like, damn, this works. Sampled it, kept hitting that 1,000,000, did it. Said, yo, I got the first part. He came in and goes, dope. let's cut
A
it.
lot of speculation on the monies I've made, honeys I've slayed. How is he for real? Is that nigga really paid? Hustlers I've met or dealt with direct. Is it true he stayed in beef and slept with a tech? What's the position you hold? Can you really match a triple platinum artist buck by buck, but only a single going gold? Rockefeller shit fold, and you left out in the cold. Is it back to charging motherfuckers 11 for a O?
Goes in there and cuts it. No, you know, I've never seen him write anything on paper. They said, yeah, I think he did back in the day he said on paper bags, and he'd lose the paper bags. I think that's when he said that's how he had to start remembering stuff. But I've been in many sessions with him and never seen him write. It's him and Big, and then boom.
Yo, you fucked my head up. You fucked my head up with that. You fucked my head up with that because listen. I didn't even know that was from an Aaliyah sample.
Yeah, One in a Million. I think that's my favorite song she's ever made. When I heard that, I was like, this Timbaland guy is sick. Like, that's when I was like, I already liked him with Super Duper Fly and all of that, but when I heard One in a Million, and they were all and Timbaland was sitting in the car low with Missy, and just the way she moved in the video, I was like, yo, this Timbaland guy's about to be huge, and he blew up.
And then what about the beat change in that? You know,
so he went back in the room with Too Short, because he had already laid, you know, once he liked the beat and cut it, he said, let me know when you got the other part. So I'm just looking for samples and
in the studio you're doing this.
Yeah. Everything's on the spot.
You're fucking around with, like, you're playing records, like, what'll match up.
Yeah. I still do that to this very day. That's why some people
You're fucking my brain up. You're really fucking my head up.
Well, I never knew no other way to do it. I thought that's how everybody did it.
Yeah, but you're fucking my head up, though.
I thought that's how every producer did it. So when some people like, you know, like now, if a producer gets a gig or whatever, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you 30 beats to pick from," and you'll be like, "I'll take the third one, and I'll take number 7." And then
you don't do that.
Nah.
You come in there, we work, we vibe, we're making a painting.
Yeah, blank canvas.
All right, so the second beat in that, is he like? So he's not writing. Is he knows what he wants to say?
Yeah, because like I said, he did the rhyme over the phone before I even got.
Wouldn't that have been a great Instagram moment?
Yeah.
That'd have broke Instagram. If you had that shit now, like yo, Jay's rhyming on this shit.
Yeah, and you know, obviously back then, because Jay's a little younger than me, so I looked at him as an up-and-comer that deserves to get a shot, you know, because I already knew him from Jazz-O because we were label mates. So Jazz-O, every time I saw Jazz-O at the label or any stuff that we had to all do together, sometimes me, Hammer, Vanilla Ice, Technotronic with Pump Up the Jam, with Y'all Kid K, Jazz, Gangstar, Arrested Development, D'Angelo. We always had to do like different promo stuff, so it was all label mate stuff, and Jay would be around with Jazz, so it was always, oh, what's up? It wasn't like, oh, you know, I don't know anything about you, you know, so. And then I used to live on 183rd in the Bronx, so when I lived up there before we got signed to a major, I used to always see Dame Dash, because he was dealing with original flavor. So Jay-Z would be up in the Bronx. So I'd always see him up there with Dame. And then this is before they started Rockefeller. So, you know, and Dame be walking around. Did he have Rottweilers or Pit Bulls? I think he had Rottweilers.
Dame did?
Yeah. Be walking his dogs.
So he came in and he just laid down the rest of the song.
Yeah, so with Round No More, once he went back in the room with Short to work, you know, I would just say it myself, motherfuckers can't, and just hit the play button to see if it would hit the way, because he had already said, I wanted to go motherfuckers can, and then come on, right on rhyme. So I already knew that's his concept. So Guru always called me a beat tailor. He said, it's like I tailor, like a guy can look at you and go, oh, you're tall, and you're about 6 foot and change. Okay, yeah, you know what, I know what kind of suit you need. Where that suit may not look fly on me. I'm a little wider and heavier. It's like, all right, let's get Fat Boy a nice little suit too and make him look fly. So it's the same thing with me with my approach to a beat. So if you give me a concept ahead of time, I'm just giving you the theme music to match your vision.
Be honest with me. Did you ever imagine? I mean, I think that one of the beautiful things about Jay-Z is that he took the dream and squashed the dream and took it to another level of euphoria. Like the imagination of his idea of success couldn't have been this, because I don't think it was even unimaginable for even a musician. Like, he's beyond a rap star. Yeah. Did you ever imagine Jay-Z would be where he is now? Like, I mean, when did you see like this guy's fucking really on another thing of specialness?
I mean, for me, It was really when he did Reasonable Doubt, because I was there for the making of almost all of it. Like, you know, Irv Gotti would come by and lay his beat. Nobody and Sean and LV would come by and do their session. Ski would come do his session. And a lot of it was done at D&D. So to see him put it together, and he always knows how he wants it, you know. So even a good friend of mine that lived in the Bronx, a younger kid who actually is the one who gave me the Just to Get a Rep sample, because his dad had it in his collection because they're Puerto Rican, and his father had that in his collection. He said, "Yo, I think you could flip this." So shout out to DJ Red Handed, who was Jay-Z's DJ first. I've watched him rehearse, and Jay is the specific don't fuck up. Like, he's been like that since literally 90. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up. And I used to go to his shows. This is when he would just stand in the middle and just rhyme and have all of his punchline freestyle joints to do to the crowd to have them laugh. And 22 twos, he would do that. But you got to drop on cue with him. And even when he did Summer Jam, when he brought Michael Jackson, I remember Bleak missed a cue, and he said, "Bleak, you're not focused. Go." And then Ja Rule's coming out to do Can I Get Her, and he didn't come out on his cue because somebody had distracted him backstage. And I remember he came out and he goes, "Yo, what happened?" And he goes, "Yo, I was distracted backstage." And he said, "You want to start it over?" He goes, "Give it up for Ja Rule, y'all." And I'm like, "See ya." I'm like, well, you know, this one Ja Rule's huge. So he's like, "Give it up for Ja Rule, y'all."
So you saw that studiousness, you saw that perfectionism.
And he said it again, "Yo, you're not focused." So that alone, I was like, damn, he's still on it the same way as he was back then with Red Handed as a DJ before any album was completed. All the way to being a platinum guy with Hard Knock Life. This is on the this is after Hard Knock Life. When he brought Michael Jackson out, this is when he was doing the Blueprint. Yeah, because Takeover was on the Blueprint, so he was about to drop that album, and we hadn't heard the whole Takeover yet. So yeah, I was at that Summer Jam, you know, and I was with Freddie Fox and all the rest of my crew. And I remember when Michael came out, we were even like, "Michael, it's really Michael."
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Michael can have that effect on you.
Fuck yeah, especially at fucking Summer Jam.
You could be a bully. You could beat up everybody you want and be hard. And we've been in many brawls in my career and survived them. And Michael came out.
Freddie Fox was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, he'll tell you the same thing. He was like, "Michael." That was Michael, man. Shit. After that, I was like, "Oh, I'm not going no more Summer Jams.
That's fucking crazy.
I don't care who comes. I'm not going no more. I'm good."
All right. Speaking of great records, documentaries have been made about this. The Illmatic record.
Yeah.
Again, I can't go over everything. You know, New York State of Mind. This is an iconic record. The iconic production. You, Pete Rock, Large Pro, Q-Tip. Who's overseeing that record? Who is like, all right, I want to get Q-Tip, I want to get Large Pro, I want to get Pete Rock, I want to get Premier. Who was sort of distributing it out? Because that was like a great team effort, because you guys seem to all know this guy's special.
Right.
Talking about Nas.
Right.
So how is it sort of being distributed, and what do you remember about the song and the songs that you did? But
yeah, well, for one, I got to give Large Professor the credit. I always look at Large Professor as what I am to Guru with Gangstar. I feel like he's the premier to Nas. You know, like, it's like, no, I don't care if Nas does 100 albums. Always make sure Large Professor's on it as your go-to. Automatic. Like, he can do an interlude. Make sure he's on it, because that's your whole base of us believing that you're that next dude, because he gave you the sound. I don't like when people abandon sounds that built them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stick to tradition. There's some people, Premier's just on that 90s shit. He still does the same old thing. All right, you ain't got to listen to it. I like what Angus Young from AC/DC said. He said, man, somebody said, he said, I saw an article the other day where they said AC/DC does the same thing 10 times. And he goes, that is not true. He said, we do the same thing 11 times. I was like, that's me. Right. I'm just a hip-hop version of it. And Angus Young is one of my favorite guitarists, and I'm a big AC/DC fan. And he's an Aries, so like me. So, yeah, we're on the same page. But, yeah, Large, we used to hang over each other's house before I even got signed to a major. We were still on the Manifest single, living off of that. And I remember Queens artists always get named rapper in front of their name. I remember Large Professor's like, yo, Preem, man. Large always talks. He's the most New York sounding dude.
By far.
Like and he goes, yo, Preem, yo, word, I got this dude named the Rapper Nas. He called him the Rapper Nas. Just like there's a Rapper Noid. There's a lot of rapper MCs from back then. He's like, yo, this dude, the Rapper Nas, you got to hear him. We about to do this joint called Live at the Barbecue, and you got to check out this guy, Akinelli. I was like, all right. And I had met Fatal once, but even though, he was on it, he stressed the Akinelli and Nas direction of paying attention to them. Went over there and he played me the record. When I heard it, blown away off the first listen. And then by the time it blew up and everybody was on it, then he did Back to the Grill with Search, and then Search and them helped him get the deal with Faith Newman over at Sony through Rough House and everything. And then plus they did Halftime with the Zebrahead movie, which is the first time I ever saw you in a movie.
Yeah, first time I ever saw me in a movie was the first time Nas record played Halftime. So I was like, I'm proud of that shit.
So I would see Zebrahead. Well, I would see it for two reasons.
You didn't go to see Michael Rapaport?
I did not. Well, I did want to see the interracial thing to see how that went.
But the soundtrack,
because she was hot anyway.
Yeah, Nabushe.
Nabushe was right.
I'm just fucking with you. All right, so just stay focused on Nas.
So from there, I think Large Professor and Nas himself were choosing all of that. The only thing I was involved in was mastering the album. And Nas put it in sequence. He sequenced it in that order, and then I took it. I remember when I had to go pick up the last master, because me, Pete, and Q-Tip had already done our songs, and then I went to go pick up the last song. And it happened to be Life's a Bitch. I had to go meet him at Chung King, because I used to go to sessions with Nas and Large Professor and just watch them work. Just like, wow, this is so dope. And just watching how Large Professor was making Ain't Hard to Tell. Then he'd make One Time for Your Mind and just making them like this. And I was just like, damn, man, it's still on the SP. And I was just like, damn, Large is ill, So Nas wanted me to come get the final master so I could go to master it at Master Disc, where we do all of our stuff. And next thing you know, he's like, I want you to meet my man AZ. He said he just spit a verse, play it for him. And they played it. And he goes, oh, this is my father right here. Oh, Lou, this is my father right here. He's like, he's about to play on the song. And I'm just like, wow, nice to meet you, And he plays the song, and I'm just like, hearing that verse that AZ did, we were just like, this dude's about to be the next thing too. Because Life's a Bitch is just, who doesn't know that verse? Then his father goes in, does the horn parts. They bounced it to a DAT, digital audio tape, which is what it was called. Thanks to Ice-T. He's the first one to ever have one that I saw in New York and at the New Music Seminar. And he was like, yo, Premier, this is the new thing called a DAT. It's called a digital audio tape. That shit was about the size of my turntable case. I'm like, what does that do? He said, you know how you jump on stage and the record skip? He said, this will play the beat, and now Evil can scratch, and now the beat won't jump. And I was like, how much does that cost? And he was like, $2,500. But back then it was like, wow, that's too much. I can't afford that,
That's crazy.
Yeah, my first show I ever did with Gangstar was with Tribe Called Quest, Queen Latifah. She brought Moni Love on stage, because we didn't know we met Moni. I already knew Latifah because of Flavor Unit, because 45 King was doing the production for Gangstar before I joined. So we knew Latifah and her dancers, Kika and Al. And rest in peace to La's mom, too. I actually sent her a text the day she passed, and she literally just texted me yesterday just saying thank you and all that stuff. So shout out to La. But yeah, man, that was our first show, and Ice-T was a headliner. And so I got to see Trial for the first time, because I was hearing them be on the Jungle Brothers promo and all that, but we had never seen and then we heard Description of a Fool.
Right.
And Pubic Enemy on that, which was a B-side, wasn't on the album, and then we got to watch them perform, all of them, Jerobi and everybody, and they wore their outfits that they wore in the video. They had that on, and we opened up. It was us, then Tribe Called Quest, then Latifah.
Damn.
And I remember Special Ed was in the bathroom getting Moni motivated to do it, because she was nervous to go on stage. And then when she came out and did that verse to Ladies First, the whole crowd went bananas. Like, because, different flow. She had to, and
she was real cute, too.
Yeah.
And her voice.
Yeah,
and
she had the British accent, but when she rapped, she sounded American.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there to watch all that
Damn,
shit.
that's a fucking lot of fucking memories.
Yeah, man. I got the tape. I'm still looking for the tape. I have the videotape of all of that.
You need to fucking pull that.
We're looking for it because I'm doing working on a documentary for Gangstar, so we're going through all my old tapes. They're in a safe place. We're going through them so we digitize and stuff.
All right, so specifically New York State of Mind. That's a lot of pressure. Like that's a lot of pressure. Like New York State of Mind. Like the beat. The sound, like New York State of Mind, Billy Joel, like yo, New York State of Mind. Give me the science, give me the ingredients of the song.
Clean, Blank Canvas. That was the second record I did. Represent was the first one, but not the one on the album. It was a jazz bass line. And that was the first one we did. But then when Q-Tip and Pete came in, and we were always in communication with each other, and Nas was like, yo, check out the beat Pete Rock just gave me. And I heard, and he already had it formatted with the Whose World Is This? Because Nas asked him to sing it. And I was just like, yo, man, this is better than mine. I got to change my shit. So I changed mine to the one that's on the album, which is really a remix because Nas liked the bassline one. I had to convince him, like, yo, this is definitely the one. He was like, I don't like this as much as the bassline one. I'm like, nah, this is the one. And we just kept tugging until we got it to where he went ahead and accepted that one. So once I heard The World Is Yours, then, because he had already tagged me to do 3. And so
you knew you were going to do 3 songs on the record?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the second one was New York State of Mind, and that's when he came in, and we were just fishing through records. Me and him, he just sitting there, I'm just dropping the needle, and I pulled up the Joe Chambers record, and I cleared it so I could say the name. You know, I don't like to get off sample, but we cleared it, so it's Joe Chambers, everybody.
Yes.
And we're thumbing around. And
what's the first part? What's the Joe Chambers sample?
Like the piano.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we just heard that, because first it goes, and then all of a sudden it goes, it just breaks down all of a sudden. You know, if you were just to listen to that, I mean, it's really noisy, you would have been like, skip the next record. But let it play for just a couple more seconds, and it just goes, and it calms down. We both look at each other like, yo, wind that back. He said, you can flip that. I said, hold on. Put in my sampler. My homie Panji he said, watching me do it, he said, I'm going, and then the beat plays. So he's always tripping off how it's just a little funny, you know, just, and then all of a sudden you're playing, now it's doing that, you know, so.
And when you're doing that, when you're making specifically like New York State, and you're hearing that, and it's sounding like fucking shit.
Well, that's me just putting it into the machine.
But you're clear. You have a clear set goal. You're not like you know, like, but it has to sort of go to get to something.
I call it experiment mode. That's what I call it. I'm experimenting because it might not work. Only part I already had rolling was the ding, 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 ding. You know, the part at the beginning when he's like, you know, it's time. Straight out the fucking Dungeons of Rap. That part I already had, but that's all I had. You know,
you just had that as a potential something.
I was like, I'm very good at knowing what tempo I want it to be, and I was like, I already did Represent, and that's more up tempo. So I was like, I want to get one that's just, I like slow beats, you know, just because I drive a lot. I love driving and just blasting music. It's just a thing. Sometimes I just like drive for hours and just be by myself. Because if you ride with somebody, they talk in the middle of it. It's like, oh man, enjoy this. So I just drive by myself a lot and just blast my music. So, and not my music that I make. I like listening to other people's stuff.
I got you.
But
so was that rhyme written? Was his verses?
Nah,
then go ahead. So then what happened?
So then once I got the where I'm gonna catch it, he's like,
and he starts writing.
He always sits at the desk, and he always, I don't know, I still haven't asked him why does he do this. He starts doing this and going blah, 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 blah. Maybe because while the music's kind of loud in the room, I guess doing this you can hear yourself. Maybe I never even say, yo, why do you do that? All the years I've known Nas, at least from those albums, at least the first three albums we worked on, he's always at the front of the desk going and just like he's rapping into his hand. Next thing you know, he's ready to cut the first verse. And once he cut the first verse, he did it in one take. And one thing I love about it, which I've said in other interviews, is I love how he's looking at the paper, and when he says straight out the fucking dungeons of rap with fake niggas don't make it back, I'm getting ready to count him in, but he's not looking. He goes, I don't know how to start this. And you hear him say that.
I don't know how to start this. Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition of pain. I'm like Scarface sniffing cocaine, holding an M16. See with the pen I'm extreme. Now bullet holes left in my peak holes. I'm suited up with street clothes. Hand me a 9 and out defeat foes. Y'all know my stilo, with or without the airplay. I keep some E and J sitting bent up in the stairway, or either on the corner betting grants with the CeeLo champs, laughing at bass heads, trying to sell some broken amps. G-packs get off quick forever. Niggas talk shit, reminiscing about the last time the task force flipped.
Yo, man, you know, so he looked, because my booth is right here, and the board is literally at an angle sideways, so I'm that close to just, if I'm sitting there at the board, he's literally right here in the glass. So I'm sitting there going 2, 3, you know, like, let's go, because I have it recording already.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, because sometimes you get the best take from practicing it. Because if you practice it sometimes, you nail it, and then when you're ready to do it, now you're doing too much to make it exact.
Too cutesy.
You don't get the same feel. And I'm more of a feel person. If it don't feel right, I'm like, yo, let's cut it again. And I could do it again. I'm like, yo, I'm the coach. I hear you. I'm listening to you. It's not better than that take. You know,
I love this shit so fucking much. I can't tell you how much I love. Like you making my heart race hearing these stories. I fucking love this shit. All right,
and I'll say one more thing. When I did Memory Lane, I didn't like that one. He was like, yo, I have enough hard stuff already. I have enough stuff that's in those vibes. I need something that just feels like we're sitting in the park. And that's what it was called. It wasn't called Memory Lane. It was called Sitting in the Park. And then I started scratching, now let me take a trip down Memory Lane. And coming out of Queensbridge, and I was like, man, we should call it Memory Lane. He said, well, how about we call it Memory Lane Sitting in the Park? I was like, I'm cool with that. You know, so that was his idea on that. You know, now it's very knowledgeable what he wants to do as well. So I remember they laughing at the cover, the Ruben Wilson cover, going, look at this dude. And they all, his whole crew was in there laughing, and we like, you ain't gonna find something on that, are you? And we're just throwing around all of a sudden we heard the because I wanted to make sure my stuff was on the level of what Tip, Large, and Pete was doing. I went to the World Is Yours session at Battery. I remember when Q-Tip dropped off the cassette of him pause mixing the One Love with the Heath Brothers, which was cleared, so I can say it. It's not snitching. I remember when he had it looping. You know, when you pause mix, sometimes it's looping. You know, it's like a start, but
he had that shit down.
We were like, where'd he get what the hell? Because I remember we had to go to P. Diddy's studio for some reason, and I told Nas I'll give him a ride, and he was like, yo, I want to hear it in your car. And we were just like, what the hell is Q-Tip on? I was like, I got to top this one too. That's when I changed to Represent to the one that's on the album. I was like, man, these guys is killing it. Everybody was bringing that A game because we all knew if we're on it together, everybody's coming with the illest.
That's fucking dope.
So I was in competitive mode, like, man, I don't want to have the weakest song. So then that's why I kept fighting. I felt like New York State Mine was the tightest one out of the 3 that I did.
That's fucking good shit.
Shout out to LES too, you know, for doing the Life's a Bitch. I mean, one of the most incredible records. Even though it was a known sample that we already knew coming up, it was still so needed, and it fit right into all of our songs. So, yeah. And he's QB.
The song I Met You with, it doesn't age. It's so goddamn good. Come Clean,
Right.
J. Rue. I almost feel like this was like a blessing and a curse because the bar was set so high on J. Rue with the Come Clean song. The video was dusty, dirty, shot in East New York, Brownsville.
Yep.
Do, 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 do. I'm not a musician. How quick do you know, like, this is a song? Like, this is a fucking banger. Like, when you guys are in the studio and Come Clean, and you want to vote what? Come up, and Like, are you guys? This is a fucking hit.
Yeah.
Like this is.
That was his demo. So we didn't really make it for putting out to the street yet. We were just making a demo, and that was the demo. Guru used to put out these things called Ill Kid samplers, and he put three artists on it. So this was the Ill Kid sample. He put Suge, Group Home, and J. Rue, and Guru came up with the idea that we should start signing artists, and he said, since it's our homies, let's put them on. So he said, let's sign 3 artists each. I didn't have anybody in mind yet, so I said, who you want to sign? He said, definitely got to put Suge on since he founded Gangstar. He said, J. Rue, and he said, and now Dap wasn't rapping yet. One day they did a demo when they were with Guru called So-Called Friends, him and Malachi, the Nutcracker. I was hanging with I was like a mentor to Malachi because that's when I met him in the Bronx. And when I lived there, and he wanted to box, which is why he had that physique. You know, always had his shirt off, big barrel chest. He was boxing for real. So shout out to Buddy McGirt's team. They were actually training him to box, but he got 2 gun charges and he got shot. So he just was taken so out of the context of being able to box. He was facing jail time. So the Judge Bamberger, big up. If it wasn't for her, who knows what Malachi would be, but she said, I don't want him doing anything violent. And I'm like, yeah, but Your Honor, for 2 years I went to court with our criminal lawyer, and she was like, I was like, Your Honor, why won't you let him box when he can get paid for it and it's something he loves? She goes, because it's a violent sport, and I don't want him doing anything violent because he's already got gun charges underage, he's under 17. She goes, do you know what the word remand means? I was like, yes, I do. She goes, well, you do music, make him make an album. She goes, next time you come back to court, he better be making an album. I was like, oh, man. He was like, I don't want to make no record, you know, so.
That's fucking.
I had to pretty much force it to just like, man, we got to do it. Let's do this. And, you know, so that's how it became.
That's bugged out.
Yeah, pushing them to just spit, man. Just say some rhymes, man. And then that's how it ended up being the 2 of them together. You know, when we heard Dap rap, we was like, wow, Dap actually got a couple of lines.
And his voice.
Yeah. And I was like, yo, let's put you in the studio and let me do a beat, you know. So after So-Called Friends, the first one was Superstar, and it, you know, we knew it was right. But when it came to who we should start with first, I said J. Roots is the most ready out of all the demos that he did. I just think I could make a better demo than the ones he was doing because Guru was producing all the demos. So from there, I did Come Clean.
Give me everything on Come Clean. Are all the samples cleared?
Yeah.
We got
sued. I got sued, but now it's cleared.
Okay, what's the do?
That's from Shelly Mann. It's called it's the very end of the album. Like it's a little itty bitty.
Like how big? Like a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds?
Maybe almost a minute long. It's called Space.
That part.
Yeah, it's called Space. It's just acapella because Shelly Mann's a dope drummer, and I'm into drummers. I'm into drumming and bass.
And so you listen to the end, you hear this little piece.
Yeah. What happened was when we were on the Gangstar tour for Hard to Earn, and Onyx was really popping heavy, I used to always cut, heads up, because they're dropping some shit on 2 turntables at soundcheck. And J. Rue was like, yo, man, we need to do a record with that as the hook. And I was like, cool. So we always kept that in mind that whenever we make a record together, you know, even though we had done I'm the Man, but now his own first debut, I said I'm going to use that as the hook. So I already went in knowing that's going to be the hook, but I didn't really know the tempo yet. I didn't know what I was going to use as a sound. But when J. Rue heard that sound, he was like, yo, that's it. That's it. And I was like, all right, let me finish it. And then he went in there, you want a front what? Jump up and get bucked. If you're feeling lucky, duck, then press your luck. And there it is.
Yo, on the front ward, jump up and get bucked. If you're feeling lucky, duck, then press your luck. I snatch fake gangster MCs and make them faggot flambe. Your 9 spray, my mind spray. Malignant mist that'll leave caught defunct. The results, you'll remain stuffed in a car trunk. You couldn't come to the jungles of the East, popping that gang, you won't survive. Get live, catching wreck is our thing. I don't gang bang or shoot out bang bang. The relentless lyrics, the only dope I slang. I'm a true master, you can check my credentials, cause I choose to use my infinite potential. Got a freaky flow. Control the mic like Fidel Castro.
And you guys knew, you had to know.
Yeah.
Cause that song is so of the time. It's so grimy. it's such a banger. It's so New York.
Very.
It's so Brooklyn, and the rhyming and the beat, like it's just like, what is this shit? You know, and it doesn't age.
No.
It's a fucking classic. It's like Smithsonian level music. Hip hop, rap, whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's museum quality shit.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, no, there's certain records I know they're gonna work. Not all of them, but like like Mass Appeal, we knew that's gonna work. Dwick, we knew it was gonna work. We ain't know it was gonna take off like that. Like we knew it was gonna be popping because it sounded like our first party record. Because we never really made party records. Nice and Smooth always gets the girls popping and everything. And even though girls went to Guru too, we still never really had records like that, you know. But Nice and Smooth ran that territory, and man, it was just a fun record. And all of a sudden, Dwick just became like the national anthem of the summer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so but like that, even that, like Don Barron from the Masters of Ceremony was there when we were making it, and Dub C was there from the West Coast. He was there when we were making that record. It's like, you know,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Dub C.
In the studio.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the turntable on a big old raggedy television that didn't work. I scratched on top of a television
For the Dwick joint.
Those old ones that your mama have with the old wood. And
Yep.
Yeah, that you put a big old vase on there, and it's like, yo, don't touch that. Yeah.
Do you think like it was almost like a curse that Come Clean was so good? J. Rule made other dope songs, but I mean, the fucking bar was set so high.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not to say, I don't say it's a curse, but it's like the expectations, like are almost, they're hard to follow up. How do you follow up Come Clean? Like even with, you know, he had The Bitches, you know, and
The
all
Original and Can't Stop the Prophet.
they're all dope songs, but like the fucking bar, it's like, I don't know how you top, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, we were more in album mode. You know, we're from an album perspective. So I remember Biggie, when, you know, I used to live, I had moved from East New York to the Bronx, 183rd, then moved into Branford Marcellus' house because he was about to be the music director for The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Jay Leno was just taking over for Johnny Carson. So he was moving, but at the time we were all living together. Me, Guru, Branford, and his wife and his son Reese. And so we had a nice couple of months living together with them. And before we tore the house up, it turned into the Animal House. But during that time, I mean, it was just a dope time where we would go down the block. And I remember Mr. C lived close to us. Lady of Rage, we lived with Nikki D because, you know, they were roommates. Chubb Rock lived right by us, so we'd see them. And we'd see Big because he would see us always go. That's when we used to drink 40s, so we'd always go there, get by our 40s. The weed spot would be on the corner. We go to the weed spot, the one that has just the one Clorox bottle in the window and one Brillo pad box and everything. And then we'd always see Big, and he was just like, yo, man, I want to work with you one day. But it was like just a good time. But by the time we got to the point of J. Rue popping, I remember Biggie said, yo, man, if you ever do a video to Brooklyn Took It, I just want to stand next to you and just look hard and not say anything. And he was like, all right, if I ever do that song, I'll make sure that happens. Even though because I love Brooklyn Took It.
Yeah.
It's so dirty.
Yeah.
His rhyme flow, the drums, the Big L, the check it out, Joe. You know, just I love that song to this very day. But yeah, we're from an album standpoint of making records.
I got you.
We weren't really a singles.
I got you.
Yeah, it was albums. Because I come from seeing singles as 12 inches only, and then later on albums came. You know,
I got you.
Like Run DMC's first album, the majority of songs on there were 12 inches first. So it's like when we got the album, it's like, damn, there's only 3 new songs.
Right.
You know, unless you get the instrumentals on the 12 inches, like, damn, it's not a lot of new shit on here. So it's the Grandmaster Flash Furious 5, same thing. The message was like, most of these are already out, minus 1 or 2. Then the album concept started to come later, you know, and then that became, well, let's make dope albums.
The whole thing.
Yeah, Prince was a guide of us to make dope albums. Prince, rest in peace, told me that Step in the Arena was one of his favorite albums. Fucked me up. I was with D'Angelo, and he said, yo, go in that room. They were playing Tramps. Remember Tramps?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were playing Tramps.
At the club.
Yeah, and then Prince was going to do a surprise appearance. D knew how much of a Prince fanatic I was, so he surprised me and said, yo, man, I got to go do a couple of interviews before the show starts. He said, just go in that room right there and I'll meet you in there. When I walk in there, Prince is standing there with Tretch from Naughty by Nature. And I walk, Prince gives you that look, with the, and you could be the hardest dude, you could be the killer. If you see Prince, it's like, yo.
That's crazy.
That's Prince, and, and Prince already knew, because I guess D had told him, yo, this guy's a big fan of yours. So when he walked in, he goes, yo, he's like, yo, man, Step in the Arena is one of my favorite albums. And I remember Tretch punched me in the chest and go, see, nigga, I told you. You know what I'm saying? Like, see? And I was like, yo, I'm solidified, man. Me and Guru are solidified. Prince said he like Step in the Arena.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And then my mother has a subscription to Essence magazine. And I remember, what's their slogan? The magazine for today's black woman, from all the Soul Train commercials when I was young in the 70s. And it said Sade is embarking on her new tour. What is your survival kit on tour? And she's like, I need such and such hair care products. I need this. And they said, what albums do you take? And she goes, Gangstar, Daily Operation. Man, you can't tell me nothing.
Yo, you fucking my head up.
Kanye did that record. They got already done that in my. I was like, nah, wait till I get my money right, because I was like, Sade's bumping our album. Prince said our second album is dope.
We good,
man. All I need is George Clinton and Bootsy after that,
and that's it.
And Michael,
right?
I'm good. And Aretha Franklin, Minnie Riperton too.
All right, Biggie.
Big.
Well, everything's been said about Biggie, as it should be. Unbelievable. Let me just because I can't do everything with you. I can't do the whole fucking thing. I got a whole list here. I got 2 pages of list. I got a highlight. I can't do it all. I'm just gonna throw this at you. Right. 10 Crack Commandments. Yeah. This is a concept song. It's a very specific song. What do you remember about the recording of that song? By the way, Premier. Unbelievable, Kick in the Door. I want to talk about that sample. We're going to have to do it another time. 10 Crack Commandments. He doesn't write the shit down.
Right.
It's a very intricate song. It's not just rhyming. It's boom, boom, boom. It's the 10 Crack Commandments.
Right.
What do you remember about working with Biggie on 10 Crack Commandments?
Well, for one, the original was really a promo that me and J. Rue the Damager did for Angie Martinez. I actually just posted it during his anniversary of his passing. Angie Martinez just posted on Instagram with her explaining the story. Angie, when she was on Hot 97, she had a segment called the Hot 5 at 9. It's Hot 5 songs at 9 o'clock. Everybody would tune into that. And then Angie was so popular that everybody you could think of was making promos for her. Dope promos, almost like records. We made J. Rue was a big deal back then. We did one too. So again, if you listen to the scratches on 10 Crack Commandments, it only goes to 5. When the beat drops, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then the beat drops. It goes 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I do it again. 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5. Because we're doing the Hot 5 at 9. I'm not going past that.
Gotcha.
And then right before the verse, I go back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There wasn't no 10 because it was a promo for the Hot 5 and 9. Boom. I'll play it for you after we're done. The original with the voice, and he's like, it's the Caliente, Cinco, a la Nueve on Hot 97 with Angie Martinez. So it was a whole tribute to her. Big heard that one day when she was playing it, because she'll alternate promos. You might hear it 3 weeks from now and she'll play it again, because Beating Us were popping. They had one. Everybody had one. Wu-Tang, King Just from Warriors Drum, he had one. And they happened to hear it. I remember my homie was, because the way Angie told it, it was pretty much 100% accurate. The only thing that was missing from the way she told it was Puff heard it too. And he was the guest up there that day. And my homie Danny was like, that's when we had pages. My beeper just keeps going off. And back then, if you need this right now, what do you put in there? 911.
Right.
He's like, yo, Puffy's on the radio telling you to call him. I'm like, word? So I turn on Hot 97 because I'm driving in the street. And I'm listening, and you know, they're doing regular chatting, kicking it, and everything. Him and Angie. I'm like, he ain't saying nothing about me, and then maybe like, we're gonna get into a song, you know, whatever. Then we'll come back with more Puffy, and he goes, yo, Premier, call me if you get this. Everybody has a warm line. Call the warm line, and he's like, yo, Big wants to do it. He has an idea for this that he wants to create over that beat. And I was like, well, you and J. Rule got a little tension over the whole One Day record we did, you know, so I don't know if that's gonna work, because I'm riding with Rue. I was also riding with Rue during that time, because I felt the way he expressed that record, and then I knew some of the people that he mentioned that he had a problem with. I knew the reason why, because we're homies, so I knew the insides of that. So, being that that's the case, he said, well, just ask him, because even him and Puff had a little tension at the time. So I said, you know what, let me call Rue and tell him what's up. And, you know, him and Big were mad cool with each other. Yeah, all of us are cool with Big. Called J. Rue, and he said, I told him what was up, and the first thing J. Rue said, it was like, yeah, that's hip hop. Let him have it. Just like that. He wasn't like, let me think about it, or let me talk to them niggas. None of that. He was just like, yeah, that's hip hop. Let him have it. Cool, Puff. We good. I said, I'll bring the reel, because the reel is already laid. The beat's already laid, so I'll just bring that same reel to the session. Brought it to the session, and he constructed it and said he's gonna lay it in the next couple of days. And when I see the Notorious movie, I always go, man, that's a little off, because when they play Sky's the Limit, he's sitting there going, yeah, I'm the greatest. That was my session. That was 10 Crack Commandments. I'm not mad at it. It's all good, but my song was really the last song he did. It wasn't Sky's the Limit. Sky's the Limit was already done, because they played me the album when we were doing Kicking the Door. They were playing me stuff just to let me hear how the album sounded. And they played me the R. Kelly record. They played me the Buck Wild record with Story to Tell, the original Story to Tell, before they had to alter the sample. I was there for all of that. So this was the last record where I remember the lights were really dim. He was recovering from the hip surgery, so he was on a walker. He had to sit in a wheelchair to cut his vocals. And I remember C's, everybody was hungry, and C's was like, yo, I'm going to go to McDonald's and get some food. And I remember Biggie goes, I hope you get robbed on the way to McDonald's. And I was like, babe, why would you say that? He said, cuz, man, look at me, I'm fucked up in this, you know, like you said, in the rounds, so Lil C's crippled me. So, you know, even though he was being funny about it was just still a funny thing.
Because of the car accident.
Yeah, so, you know, but it was all laughs. Me, him, C Gutter, we were all just lamping, and he cut the vocals in there. And I remember when it was over, he goes, my album is finished, Preem. It's over. He said, I'm the greatest. So that's why when I saw it in the movie, I'm like, that was my session.
Okay. You're giving me so much shit, Preem, that I'm like, you're fucking my mouth up, like my face up. So, specifically with the rhymes to that song, when you were watching him do it, and it's so intricate, like I said, it's not even, like, not that the other ones weren't, but it's a concept, and you know, and he's breaking this shit down. Like, and the concept at the time, the 10 Crack Commandments, and it's Biggie at this time. What was he like in the booth, like watching him rhyme? You've seen everybody. You've seen so many fucking people. But watching specifically, what is your memory of watching the Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls, rock in the booth? What is the lasting thing in your head, specifically with 10 Crack Commandments?
Well, for that one, for 10 Crack Commandments, it was different because he had to get in a wheelchair and sit down and rap. Where when we did Unbelievable, he was standing up because he wasn't, he hadn't broken his hip. His hip wasn't broken.
He was literally in a wheelchair when he did 10 Crack Commandments?
Like he'll go to the booth and on a walker, and they'll help him walk. Because he even said, Preem, my first single, Hypnotized, which he played me, he said, by the time we shoot this video, I'm gonna dance in it. I'm going to physical therapy, and I'm gonna dance in that video, which he does. So because he was like, because he couldn't really stand on his own yet. So, they would help walk him to the booth, sit him in a wheelchair so he could spit his verses. So for him to say, man, I'm going to dance in that video, and he had already passed before we saw it. When I saw him walking and dancing, I was like, yeah, man, you did what you said you set out to do, and you did it. And then once he cut the verse and said it was over, the only thing I did was, I was like, well, I got to add a 10 because it wasn't intended to have a 10 anyway. Yeah, I just took the thing with the launching pad for the NASA T-minus 10, 9, 8, and it just something about that 10 just worked. You know what I'm saying? That's why the 10 sounds different. Plus, Chuck never went to 10 on Shut 'Em Down anyway.
This is good. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. I was going to ask you about MCs Act Like They Don't Know. I was going to ask you about the Showbiz and AG Next Level. I was going to ask you about one of my favorite songs, the OC joint, My World off of Jules, which is a quintessential New York song.
Oh, yeah. I mean, is Brooklyn, and he's just New York, period.
I mean, and when he comes on, when he starts rhyming on that shit, you're like, this is another one.
Yeah.
Like, and that's a guy who, is sort of like, that record, it didn't pop, like, it was like, yo, this dude's gonna be the next, and I don't know why, it's so fucking long ago, I don't know, like, it didn't sell, but we thought, like, this is gonna be the next Nas type of, like, this is gonna be the next dude, but I can't keep you here all fucking day. I talk about the Joey Badass shit, the fucking Mos Def shit.
That's one of my favorites.
The Mathematics?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of favorites because I don't like to sweat my own music like that, but Mathematics, I was like, this is creative.
Why do you say it's one of your favorites?
It's not, it's like off but on. Just that. It's like, that makes me just be like, yo, I got to get in the car and drive. I want to annoy people. Turn it all the way up and just be like, boom, 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 bam, 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 bam. Like, that's how it gets me. And I always judge my records as a listener. I don't judge my records as, oh yeah, I'm Premier, I made it. I judge it like, yo, would I bump this? If I heard this, would I be like, ooh, or would I be like, it's okay? If it got me where I'm like, I don't care if everybody hates it, it's dope, period. If I like it like that, it's dope. And that's not a cocky thing. I just feel what I feel. And again, I've seen people sit there and be like into their shit going, woo, and I'm sitting there like, that's not hot.
I got you.
But if they're feeling it, they're feeling it.
Even the Limp Bizkit song with Meth and Red.
Yeah.
This is a big fucking huge song. I could ask you so many questions about MOP, another one of my favorite groups.
Good times with them, man. Always good times with them.
I mean, they're like fucking heavy metal, hard rock. They make you ready to like. Yes. That's like fight music.
I look so forward to when we go in the lab. It's always dope, fun, cracking jokes.
The energy.
Yep.
I'm gonna rattle these.
That's when I got my fighting skills really up to par
with MOP. MOP is like fucking fight music.
No, I'm talking about just because they are actually like if drama was starting, they were like, yes. They're not. Me, I don't want no drama. I'm not like, oh man, now I gotta fight somebody. They're like, yeah, a fight. So they really are their records. They are what they. So they are the Mash Out Posse.
All right, I'm gonna rattle these.
I lived it.
I'm gonna rattle these questions off to you. I'm not gonna ask you your top 5 MCs because you've worked with everybody's top 5 MCs. I'm gonna ask you this.
Okay.
Premier's top 5 MCs that you never worked with.
Ooh.
I'm proud of that question. That's a good fucking question. Premier's top 5 MCs that you never worked with.
Can I not put them in order? Just say 5?
Yeah, the top 5 that
I never worked with. Ice Cube. He's incredible. Cube. Ghostface Killer.
That's crazy. That I can't believe you never worked with him.
Love Ghost. Drake.
That would be sick. Dirty him up, mess him up.
Yeah, he's around the dirty shit. I
got
some more demos.
Listen,
before he knows
what's up.
Yeah, no,
you and Drake would be fucking stupid.
I've always been a fan. I don't understand why people hate on him. He makes banging ass records. Consistent as fuck. Like, everything he's been doing is just
Drake
right,
Primo.
Yeah,
do the whole record.
Yeah. What's up, Drizzy?
Drake Premier record. I'll be on the front lines because I've talked shit about Drake.
I always say, people like Jay-Z and all of them, Nas, everybody. This is again from the perspective of a fan. It's not Premier talking. A fan. They've accomplished everything from radio to club to getting the girls to the money. They can do whatever they want now, and it's all good. So I like when they all come back to just raw roots and just do a raw album to show that man, with my eyes closed, this is what I'm still good at. It's almost showing that like you may have been a Super Bowl champ or an iconic NBA champ, and you can still hoop. You can
I
still
totally fucking
throw a
agree.
nice lefty and a nice pass in the end
Because
zone.
you don't have like, and also it
You have nothing to
balances it
prove.
out. It balances it out because
Absolutely.
we're always going to be older. But like I'm like Drake, Eminem, Jay-Z, the guys that are still Nas.
All of them.
You're doing with De La, which I'm going to get to. Like I'm like balance it. Like
Yeah.
Jay-Z can do whatever he wants.
Whatever he
Eminem
wants.
can do whatever he wants. They're not doing it for money.
Yeah, like Jay said, he could drop a state dud. It's still, you know, he's still gonna blow up.
Okay.
You know, but it won't be a dud though. But
Okay, so
yeah.
that's three. Give me two more that you never worked with. Did you ever work with Busta Rhymes?
Yeah, I'm on his new album.
Okay.
It's coming out. Yep.
Two more that you never worked with. You worked with KRS-One. I can't. MCs act like they don't know a fucking ridiculous song.
Melly
You worked with
Melly
Rakim?
Mel with the Furious Five, and we've talked about doing something. I've just never have gotten to make it happen yet, but we will.
Okay. One more.
LL.
He's another one. He doesn't even need to rhyme. That goddamn show that he's on, he's making so much money off that.
Oh, with the lip sync thing.
The lip sync, I wasn't even thinking about that. The fucking CBS, NCI, whatever.
Oh, yeah, NCIS,
the money's
yeah.
coming in on top of the money.
Love LL.
The ladies. LL, I'm just going to make a public plea. LL Cool J, Premier, 10 songs.
I love his new channel too, man. You know, he took over Backspin.
Rock the Bells Records.
Rock the Bells
Rock the
Radio.
Bells Radio.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a great list. Now, we talked about the jazz and how you went anti-jazz. And this could just be, this doesn't even have to be so specific.
I don't want to say anti.
I know,
yeah,
but just
I
you
know
went
what
away
mean.
from it
I know what
because
you mean.
I get it. Give me, even this is for people that like jazz but want to learn more about jazz. So it doesn't have to be so intricate. Premier's top 5 jazz artists that if you've never listened to jazz, you should listen to. Like school the young people. Like you should listen to these 5.
I'm a huge Stanley Clarke fan because I play bass, so you got to get Stanley Clarke. You know, like Rocks, Peppers, and Sand, or even I Want to Play for You, which is a double album because you get to hear him live, but it also has studio recordings on it.
Stanley Clarke.
Yeah, Stanley Clarke. I would say definitely Coltrane. John Coltrane is a must. Who else do I like? I like Charlie Mingus, big time. Just that's in the house, in my parents' house. Mingus. I would say Art Blakey, and was that 4? Mm-hmm. And I would say it's not deep jazz as far as like the traditional, but man, shit, anything from Branford Marsalis or Winton, yeah.
Okay.
Which they're traditional. I was gonna say the Crusaders.
Okay.
Which is what I was getting at, but you know, Branford schooled me on a lot. So, you know, I watched his shows. Then I saw him leave jazz just for a hot second and play with Sting when he came out with the Dream of the Blue Turtles, and I was like, wow. And he was getting flack for everybody. Oh, I can't believe you're abandoning jazz to play with Sting. And it's like, yo, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's an extra extension of what makes him great already. What the fuck is the problem? You know, so, you know, I've had people say, I can't believe that. I've been a fan of Drake, and people hit me on Twitter like, how could you like him? And it's like, how could I not? His records are dope. Like, you mad because your girl likes it? You know, shit, make her happy, man. Make her happy.
How do you listen to music at this time? You've made so much. You're such a fan. How does Premier listen to music at this time? And are you able to listen to music without sort of being busy and listening for a loop or something? Mm-hmm. So what's your favorite way to listen to music? And are you able to just listen?
Yeah, it just switches all the time. Like driving up here, I was listening to U2, the old U2. Like, you know, during I was very in a rebel mode back in the 80s, so I was really into October and the Boy album and the War album. Then I went to go see them perform during that era, the late 80s. So I really became like the biggest U2 fan. You know, I think some of the newer stuff is a little not U2, which is not a diss. It just doesn't sound. It's like, man, let me in there to kind of because they're so ill and they're great performers.
Would you be able to produce a U2 album that's
anybody? Anybody I'm a fan of, I could do it.
Because you understand the chamber that it is.
Totally. Yeah, because my range is there from, as I said, from the Smiths. You know, I'm a big fan of Morrissey. I even went to his concert year before last, and he tore it down, and Blondie opened up. I didn't even know she was opening up, and they were like, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for at the Garden. It was packed. And, you know, and this is Morrissey and Blondie. They're like, give it up for Blondie. I'm like, oh, shit, and she tore it down.
Is that something you would love to do? Just like if one of these groups or a new sort of, you know, new wave group, and you're not doing hip hop with it, like would you?
Totally.
That's fucking dope.
Because I get it, and I know. Again, I'm one of those. It's just like when they bring a new coach in. Yo, we're gonna revamp this team. We're gonna get that ring. I'm the same way. Like I don't sit there going, "What can I do to make this right?" I'm already like, I know what y'all need.
Right.
Like that's how I come in with that.
Right. You're not going to be like a U2 with like a break beat.
Nah. I totally know. Even if I incorporated some hip hop elements, I wouldn't do it to where I'm looking to change.
No,
them.
I got you.
I wanted to sound like you.
I got you. That's fucking
that
cool.
Had me open on them.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That you're like. It just. I would love to hear some shit like that.
I'm a concert fanatic, man. Van Halen. I went to Van Halen concerts when David Lee Roth, before he left the group. You know, before Sammy Hagar took over, I was there. And then we're talking about like, you know, I've been going to concerts since 1970. 75, 74, because my mom and I were concert buddies. Like any concert, me and my mom are going. Rufus and Shaka Khan, Ike and Tina Turner. Tina Turner actually had to make an announcement that I got lost because I'm there with my family and I wandered out in the aisle and started moving around, you know, being sneaky. Couldn't remember what aisle I was in. Started crying. The usher took me to the front of the stage and they were like, there's a little boy lost, and Tina Turner, you know, makes the announcement and I'm up there on the stage like, it's me. And my parents, they say, wherever the parents are, come get them. And
come get this fucking guy here. That's crazy.
And they came and got the fucking guy.
All right. Prime with Royce. You did the Which Way Is West with MC8.
Yeah.
Why are you making these records with just one artist? What do you like about doing a full record with one artist, and who else would you like to do that with? You know, like, cause I love it when it's you and a person, and you guys just zero in on a goal and a sound and a full record.
Yeah, Aid and I were friends back in '89. My first trip to LA to Long Beach, and we did a show that turned kind of violent. You know, so that was my first experience with the West Coast getting wild and gangs and all that stuff. And you know, when I met Aid, you know, I was already cool with Dub, and I was cool with Cube already. And rest in peace to Crazy Tunes, Dub's brother who passed, and he was Ice Cube's DJ. He still is Ice Cube's DJ. They don't put any DJs on the stage no more, but they just leave the turntables empty. But you know, which is dope. But yeah, I met Aid. We've been friends for a long time. He was on the Hard to Earn album. You know, I did remixes for Compton's Most Wanted with Death Wish, and then next thing you know, I was doing an album for Black Poet, who was signed to me for an album in 2009, and we did a remix to his single, and we ran into Aid when I did the remix, and also an artist named Young Melee, who's signed to Dub C through Ice Cube's Lynch Mob imprint. So, yo, this guy Young Melee, he's at Take the Young off now, but there's a couple of Melees out there, one from the East Coast, and there's a Melee Sparks. You know, there's the other Melees, but this dude's a beast on the mic. Like, man, like he's got it. He's totally it. Look for young Melee. I'll even give you a folder.
Okay.
He spits.
Okay.
He's every time Dub does a show now, the guy that's the hype man with him, that's Melee.
Okay.
He was actually one of the characters in St. Andrews for the video game.
Okay.
Years back, but he's a problem. But anyway, so when I ran into Aid, I was like, yo, want to hop on the remix? And I said, what are you doing now? And he said, oh, man, I got a whole bunch of demos, but they're just scattered everywhere. I said, can I hear them? He let me hear them. And I was like, yo, man, some of the mixes are bad, but if you want me to kind of help, send me everything and let me pick the best ones that I think are tight, and I'll mix them down for you. And just as a fan and a longtime friend, and that's what we did.
For Which Way Is West?
Mm-hmm. And because I only produced 3, but I scratched on everyone, and he would get all the artists on and be like, "Yo, I just got Be Real on one. Yo, I just Corrupt just did one." He'd send it to me, or we'd see each other in Cali. Next thing you know, we shaped it, and it sounded like an album. And then it wasn't hard to break his the sales of it, which it actually did very well because his fan base was already built.
Right.
So we didn't have to reintroduce him. Everybody was reaching out to us. All the PR was like, "Yo, we want to do an interview with 8. We want an interview with 8." And he started popping up again, bing, bing, bing. So it was just a no-brainer with him. He's already solidified.
And the Prime Records.
Prime was an idea that was brought to us by Mike Herrod, who works at Shady. I known him from way back when he had a label out, and in the early 90s. And it was really supposed to be a Slaughterhouse album, the Slaughterhouse EP.
And you were going to produce the whole thing?
Well, with the sound of Adrian Young.
Gotcha.
That was the whole pitch. You don't get to sample no records from anybody. You're only going to use Adrian Young's sound and make your own beats from just his sound. And I was like, I don't want to do that because I'm known for digging for them dirty records or whatever. So I passed on it. As time passed with them, still Royce kept nudging me, "Come on, Preem, like this would be a good thing." And it was just to do an EP to stall while they finished the Slaughterhouse album. So as time passed, everything just kind of started getting disconnected to the degree of where Royce was like, "Yo, would you be down to do it if I just did it?" And I was like, "Yeah," because me and Royce have been just making bangers every time. So I already knew comfort zone wise it would work just like that. I said, "But I still want to do it with me sampling." He said, "Yeah, but that's not the idea." And we weren't called Prime yet. It was just Royce and Premier. But he said, "But that's the concept." I was like, all right, met Adrian. And then I already liked Black Dynamite, which he did the soundtrack and scored. So I already liked that movie. So he said, "I'm going to just send you all my instrumentals of all my albums that I've released, and you do what you want to do. And I'll stay away. I'm not going to get involved." I started listening to sounds, and I was like, "Damn, I can actually freak that." First beat I did was the song Prime. We didn't have a title for it. I'm in L.A. Royce was recovering from being sober from his alcoholism, so he was still fighting that, and he hadn't rapped in a while. So I was like, "Man, I wonder." I've known him for all his years of being drunk, so I was like, "Damn, I wonder if he can still rap nice sober," because you never know. Sometimes you lose your swag. So this is the first record I gave him the beat. I said, "Tell him what you think." He said, "Yeah, let me see if I can write something to it." I'm in LA. I'm on my way to pack my bags. We're going back to New York, me and my manager and my tour manager. I was hanging out with Joaquin Phoenix, the actor, and my man John Abrams, who's an actor. And they had introduced me to... he asked me if I could meet Joaquin Phoenix. He wanted to meet me. I was like, cool. So when I met him, we met, and this is during Golden Globes in LA. He goes, "Yo, I have a friend that says she knows you really, really well. She's hiding behind the curtain."
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like...
Yeah, and that's never... I don't like questions like that.
We're in a dark hotel.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like surprises
Yeah, and especially from a friend. She said she knows you very well.
Yeah.
Where's this going,
Well, it turned out to be dope, though.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead.
And so we met at a hotel really dark.
Yeah,
where
no one
knows. So when I turn around, it's Amanda Demi, who's Ted Demi's wife, who started Yo MTV Raps. And I'm like, I haven't seen her in years. And we're like, what's up? She was like, "Yo, I do photography now. I do this and that. I do some really wicked shit." And she said, "You should check it out." Once we checked it out, I was like, "I'll keep you in mind for some work." Now, the next day, the Golden Globes just happened. And of course, after that, there's after parties.
Right.
We're leaving the next morning early, like 6 in the morning. Johnny and Joaquin text me and go, "Yo, Diddy's doing a crazy after party right now. You should come." I'm like, who's not gonna go to a puff party?
Right.
I'm like, yeah. So I tell my manager and them, let's go to the party. He's like, we gotta leave at 6 in the morning. I'm like, I'll sleep it off on the plane. Right when I'm about to walk out of the room, Royce texts me and says, "Yo, I just sent the lyrics to the first song." I was like, okay, I'll listen to it later. Then I was like, you know what? Let me listen to it now and see if he's still dope. Downloaded the MP3. As soon as he came on, gather round, and I was like, "Yo, he sounds the same."
Gather round,
Witness the memoirs of 5'9" being read as he sees it fit. Police sirens behind him while he's driving instantly causes butterflies in his stomach, even though he's legit.
Now, brothers and sisters,
I was like, and he kept saying prom. I'm at my permanent prom in the hook, and I was like, let me write this prom down. Just as a tentative title. Went to the party, had a ball, come back. Royce is like, yo, would you be down to call ourselves, instead of Royce 5'9" and DJ Premier, like a group name? And I was like, well, what do you want to call it? He said, why don't we call ourselves Prom? And I was like, he said, but we're going to spell it P-R, but the P and the R are capital, H-Y-M-E are lowercase. P is for Premier, R is for Royce. And then H-Y-M-E is just everything, hip-hop, everything. I was like, I like that. So that's how we ended up. That's why on the Prom 2, just for the people that may not know, I was like, let me just reiterate what this means.
Right.
Because some people are like, yo, this don't sound like you. This don't sound like the way you do your beats and digging in the crates. No, it's a concept album. I'm stepping outside of my regular box. Now, when I do other people, if it's not a Prom project, I go back to digging and doing beats the regular way. But this is a Prom project. So the creative part is we take one guy's sound and I make a flip of it with the Premier way. First one was Adrian Young. Next one was Ant-Man Wonder. Next one might be Judy Woody.
Right.
If it's Judy Woody, I'm going to take all those sounds and flip those.
I love that.
Only for Prom.
I got you.
Yeah.
What can I expect? I got fucking...
Not to cut your wisdom. And because of that, then Amanda was like, yo, let me do the cover. Mm-hmm. She ended up doing the Prom cover with the cracked faces. So with the second album, we was like, yo, let's get Amanda again.
That's dope.
So just from running into her, thank you, Joaquin. Thank you, John Abrams. Because of them, Amanda has done both of our covers, and you see she does really creative shit.
Stupid shit.
Yeah, she did Tori Wolf, who's our singer-songwriter, too. So shout to Tori. Yeah.
De La Soul, I saw a text or something on fucking line.
Yeah.
And I didn't have your number. I hit Pete. It said, De La Soul record produced by Premier Pete Rock. Yeah. Is this true? How far along are you guys into it? Is it just you guys, De La, Pete Rock, Premier? That's what I want. Mm-hmm. What is that?
We haven't done anything yet. We've done the I'm going to get you, motherfucker. Pete sent me some stuff. When we're off, I'll show you some stuff he sent me, and I'm like, you asshole, because we got to outdo each other.
Good.
We got to outdo each other. It's back to Illmatic again.
Good.
Yeah, it's back to Illmatic.
And you guys could sample and all that shit?
Yeah.
Okay, so my final question, I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, we were just structuring some of the BI and everything and stuff like that. So, and I've had other albums I needed to finish. My NYG's album I needed to finish. I have a couple of surprises that I needed to finish that are going to be coming out soon. So, and then with De La, it'll be easy anyway because, again, I know what to do with them. But Pete already said, well, I'm already starting, and he's sending me little video clips.
Good.
And I'm like,
good. You know, I want you guys to fucking get
funky.
Where is sampling today? Because,
I still do it the same. I clear samples.
Oh, but in terms of production, I talk a lot of shit about rappers, and we could blame the rappers, but it starts from the production.
Yeah.
I feel like more so than the art of emceeing is gone, even more, because there's talented MCs. The production is suffering.
It's always the beat, man. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how nice you are. It's the beat.
Because a lot of dope MCs, they don't have dope songs.
Garbage beats. Yeah.
And I'm not naming names. Some of there's
a lot.
A lot of dope rappers. They didn't make a lot of dope songs.
Dropping dope lyrics and everything.
I don't know if it's the people around them telling them this is a dope song. I'm like, this ain't a dope song, dude. Yeah. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right. Listen.
I totally agree.
Listen.
And I'm not afraid to tell them if they want my opinion.
I'll say, yo, I'm not.
Listen, the beat.
I'm not excited in the studio. If you're not excited in the studio, no one else is going to get excited. All right. This is
Shout to Ferg, man. When he came here, just on the spot. We made it right there on the spot. He watched me make it, and then that's what we made.
That's a banger.
And I was just seeing if we could click. And from blank canvas, he was watching me bring it back, and next thing you know, we put that out and made a nice little dent, And he said, make a preem beat, don't make Plain Jane, don't make Shabba Ranks, make preem. And that's what I like too. He came in and wrote it to my beat, and it sounds like we made a good joint.
Right.
Yeah, I love that record, man.
All right. I am Rapaport Stereo Podcast.
To be continued.
With Premier. What can I say? I broke the rule number 1 of the I Am Rapaport Stereo Podcast, which is fact check. I had to do it. I appreciate you rocking with me.
Yeah, anytime.
Motherfucking Premier.